Good morning, everybody, and welcome back to our 18th day of our March Micro Minimizing Challenge. I hope you've been following along. Whichever platform you've been following on, whether it's here on Instagram or Facebook, I'd really appreciate if you give me a follow. And if you're following along on YouTube, then subscribe so that you don't miss a video. Today's topic is probably one that's a little different than some of the other ones that I've done so far this month, and that is I'm going to be talking about kids' artwork. And the reason it's a little bit different is often there's much more emotional attachment to kids' artwork, and sometimes we have troubles parting with it because it shows their growth and creativity as they go through the stages. Quite often they gift it to us, and of course it's a gift, so now not only is it from our child, it's got the added sentimental attachment of being a gift from our child, and that makes it really, really hard to part with. And so we start to store it, we start to keep it in folders, or we start to keep it in bins, because one day they might say, "Hey, Mom, did you keep every single piece of artwork that I ever created when I was a child?" And you're going to proudly pull out a bin and say, "Yes, I did." I'm going to tell you a little secret. They never ask that question. They are going to be totally shocked if you are able to pull out a bin full of their artwork from when they were a child, and they're probably going to say, "Why did you keep all this junk?" Right? Because to them, they've outgrown it. They don't remember making it. If you were to reverse that a little bit, and if you were to find out that your parents kept all of your artwork from when you were a child, I mean, what would you think? You would open up a bin and go, "Wow, why do you keep all this?" Right? Yes, it's made from our children, but every piece of artwork can't be special, right? It's just not the truth. I mean, it's a natural thing for kids to make art while they're growing and learning to be creative and using their imaginations. But it's not true that each piece needs to be kept, right? You might have the odd piece that is attached to certain memories, something really special that you want to hang on to, and that's great. But there needs to be a limit, Something that happens is you end up putting all this artwork, say, into a bin that's quite popular. And even if you were to open that bin years later, you would start to go through it, but then it would become overwhelming to go through because there's so much to look at that you would end up kind of rifling through it and going through it quickly and then going, "Oh, I remember this piece and I remember that piece," and then rifling some more. It just gets to be too much. So it's really maybe you're needing permission to not hang on to all the pieces, and that's if you need the permission, you got the permission. Maybe you need your kids' permission to not keep all the pieces, and then it doesn't matter what age they are, you can ask them, right? With their little kids or teenagers or adults, you can ask them, "Hey, do you want me to hang on to this? Is there a reason I need to hang on to this? Do you want it?" If they're adults, right? So when my kids were little, something that I did is, and this is just an idea I'm sharing with you, is I hung up 2 strings across a piece of wall, and I got some of those from the dollar store, those little decorative clothespins, and I would hang up all of their artwork on those 2 strings. They each had 2 strings, their own strings, and I would hang up all of their artwork, and when those strings were full, I took a picture. And then they would make more artwork. They chose which pieces came down off those strings to be replaced with their new artwork, and then the pieces that came down, they discarded. They did this themselves. They got to choose what stayed up and what came down. And I would kind of roughly gauge when I felt that the artwork had been changed over enough that I would take another picture. Now, those pictures are in their childhood photo albums. You know, I actually, made sure that, back then it was, film and processing, and I got the pictures and I scrapbooked them, and they're in their photo albums. So we get to see those pieces of artwork if we ever want to go back or flipping through. Oh, that's kind of neat. Look, you'll see your artwork. The memory is still there, but we don't have the clutter. And the kids were involved in the decision making. That's really important. And it also takes a lot of the pressure off of you as a parent. They get to decide what stays and what goes. It's their artwork. And even if they gift it to you, you could say, oh wow, that's great, I love your picture, I'm going to hang it here on your clothesline, on your picture line, right? Another option is to scan them into your computer and store them digitally. Now, a couple of thoughts on this. One, if you're scanning them in and you're actually going to make a photo book with them or make something with them, then that's great. Then, by all means, scan them in, make sure that you follow through with a project, do something with their artwork, and that's wonderful. If you don't have an end reason for scanning them in, then you're spending a lot of time scanning in artwork that for what end? It's kind of a waste of time if it's just going to sit in a file, right? I would suggest that as you're getting your kids to help you sort through, have a reasonable number, set a reasonable, if you've got young children, you can have a number of pieces that they keep. For my kids, it was, when these 2 strings are full, then we start to exchange one for another, right? You might want to set a number of pieces, whether that's 10 or 15 pieces. And, once you reach that limit, as you add more pieces, then other pieces have to go. It's like the 1 in, 1 out idea that we've discussed before in some of my other videos. And you can set this number for yourself as well, right? If there's pieces that you want to keep, set yourself a limit, and then make sure you're exchanging those in and out as you get more pieces collected for yourself. But I would also suggest, if you're going to keep the pieces, put them on display, right? Get a frame and put it somewhere prominent in your home and put the artwork on display, and you can change it out. Every little while you can, change the picture that you see there so that you do have the memories. Don't have the pieces that you kept and then put them in a folder, because now you don't need a bin, you just need a folder and you're going to stick it in your filing cabinet. What's the point of that? If these pieces are special and they have special memories for you, then put them out where you can appreciate them, or there's no point in keeping them. All right. Sorry, I was just checking my notes there, and I have covered everything that I wanted to say. So if you have any questions or comments about this, of course, feel free, reach out to me, leave, you can DM me, you can leave in the comments, you can go to my website and email me, and I'm more than happy to talk this through with you. So I hope you have fun going down memory lane and sorting through some of that artwork and coming up with some strategies with your kids, if your kids are still small, coming up with some strategies with them for helping to keep their creativity vibrant, but, somewhat under control. All right, have a great Saturday, everybody. We'll see you tomorrow.